Hey, Dusk the Viking here. What's up, Warband? How you doing? So we'll take a quick look at Forewarned. I've been beta testing this game off and on for a while, but we haven't been able to talk about it because NDA was up. But we are able to talk about it now and put some content out, so I'll be streaming this today. Stop by if you want to check that out. Real quick here in this video, I'm just going to give you a heads up on exactly what this game is now that we can, show it off. So as you can tell, you have to click to interact with this because this is a standard VR-friendly lobby right here. So the game is playable in VR. You click play, you got your lobbies, you can host or join. If you host, as you saw, there was... hold on, we'll leave this really quick. You pick your region that you want to play in. And then you pop up host, and then private, PvP, whether you want it on or off, loot system, splitter, finders, keepers, map size, small, medium, large, difficulty, easy, normal, hard, brutal. So there's a lot of stuff here that's really cool. Standard room code hiding, so really, they've really put a lot of thought into this. It's a nice lobby system, tool sharing if, you want to be able to help out newer players and you've already farmed some stuff up. If not, you can just keep all your tools for yourself, which can be good because you don't necessarily want people running off with your stuff if you have a specific strategies in mind. You turn around and look for, your whatever and it's gone and you're like, all right, where's whatever? And they've died somewhere in an ancient tomb and it's like, right? So completely optional there. That's kind of nice. And you've got a lot of standard things here. Key bindings and all this stuff, mouse sensitivity, lots of customization. So they've put a lot of work into this. They've had some beta testers on it, NDA up. They've been fleshing it out. They've been putting a lot of work into it, like it shows. Played a little bit. I've played several multiplayer games. Those have always went off pretty well with almost no hitches, so they've got that stuff. Like, this is how you enter, and this is entering early access. This is how you do it. Is it a rough around the edges in some places? Absolutely. But it's largely functional, and all the core components are in place. Now, before we fire this up, I want to show you a few more things really quickly. And that's the lobby here. So you've got your backpack and tools and stuff. You don't interact with it. It's just kind of there for looks. That's fine. You've got your museum cases for any artifacts that you've pulled out of the large tombs. So there, I've managed to pull one out of a big tomb. Of course, I mostly play the game solo, go figure. But it's super fun with people, though. I'm just going to throw that out there. Me and Sonic Cat played early this morning or late last night, however you want to look at it. And we just had a lot of fun messing around in there. Oh, street sounds. Ha! That's new, I think. I never noticed it before. But there's a lot of stuff here that's just kind of decoration. But here's some of the smaller artifacts we've pulled out. Me and Sonic had actually pulled this one out last night, as well as that one, if I recall. Yeah, so we had two good runs, and here's where you come in to buy your equipment. What is it? Press E. Archeo Bay. Clever naming. I love it. So you have your gold amount, and you can just buy stuff. Most of it is like smartwatch. Parentheses, this is an upgrade for the smartwatch you already have. And that's what a lot of this stuff is. They're upgrades and things like that. But some of them are additional. Like I also got the compass. And now, I'll have this as an additional tool when I'm out on a mission. You do not lose your equipment when you die. So that's pretty cool. Or at least not in the versions I've played. That might have changed. Who knows? Or maybe it's changed on the harder difficulties now. But there's also lore pages that you can collect. Of course, you got to pay gold to unlock them. But that gives you something to do with your gold once you buy stuff. So they've got a fair bit of progression and things like that, unlocks, and so there's a lot of gameplay here initially, and we're not even to the gameplay yet, just wait. So here you got your customization. I made this snazzy fellow. Look at that handsome, he reminds me of the hologram doctor from Star Trek Voyager. There's somebody back there. It's odd. But yeah, you can moderately customize your person here, so there's a lot of variety in character models, which is really nice, really nice. So again, you know, a lot of attention to detail here, right? A lot of attention to detail. So let's pop in here really quick. I'm just going to do an easy small. We're not even going to do a run because, again, I'm just giving you a quick rundown on exactly what this game is. And, of course, to do that, I also need to be in here so I can show you firsthand. Of course, many of you have probably seen a lot of this by now. But yeah, you come in here, you clicky, all of your equipment is automatically brought with you. Upgrades are automatically applied. This is the upgraded torch. Light that bad boy up. Torch is my favorite item. It's fancy. You can run over to stuff. Just kind of wave it close. There we go. Get that lit up. And the tomb's inside. So let's go take a look at the entrance. You have, you know, several prefabs. This is just what houses the entrance. Sometimes they're just kind of like right there in front of your tent in a pit of sand. But you click this, opens the tomb. And the Magi is now sort of awake. Now, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to grab a free scroll since I'm here. Better to be lucky than dead, right? So anyway, when you're out here, for the most part, you're mostly safe. That's the tomb in there. There is a Magi, aka monster, that is haunting the tomb. And you have to play around that. So, how this works. You go into the tomb. This tomb is haunted. You will hear things, you will see things, and every once in a while, you'll see, like, a gray... Really? Is it just gonna give me all this stuff? You'll see a gray, smoky figure drift through, and that's the spirit of the Magi that haunts this tomb. Uh-oh. Did I bring my lighter? Thank God I did. And, they'll make noises and do things and, you know, put off behavior. And this is the part that's gonna remind you of Phasmophopbia. So you'll see the behavior, and you'll come in here to your evidence tab. Sounds familiar. And you'll click off some of the things. Maybe you've heard clay pots getting smashed, and then you heard like some ancient, you know, mutterings from a disembodied voice. Maybe you heard chains being rattled. And if this is what you've heard, aha, well, it looks like the Magi that we're dealing with is Necraf the Shadow. Well, what's Necraf the Shadow? Go over here to research. Click over to Necraf the Shadow. When it is a saw, or just a spirit, that black smoky visage, these are all the things that Necraf will do. Now, once you find the primary tomb where the main treasure is hidden, you'll open this sarcophagus in this really fancy room, and you'll take the treasure. As soon as you do that, they become angered, and they take their Ket form, which is their physical incarnation, and now they're very, very deadly. So for Necraf the Shadow, Necraf can teleport, is always aware. I'm actually not sure what that means, but it sounds disturbing. They make the sound of chains. You'll hear chains rattle. No light, exclamation point. In other words, turn off your lights if you think Necraf is near. Do not stare at Necraf, and you cannot hide. So here's the thing with Necraf. I've went up against Necraf before, and one of the more, they're all kind of disturbing, to be honest, but Necraf will sit in the shadows and rattle its chains, and it just sits there, right? And you'll kind of just walk into it and flip your flashlight, and there will be this kind of like big, boxy kind of demon. Well, it's not boxy, but he's very broad, right? Just sitting there in the dark with the chains, and you immediately need to kill your lights and look away. Because as soon as it, you know, you kind of flip it out, it's gonna come for you, and then you can't hide. So yeah, you can kind of get kind of close to it as long as you're in the dark and like looking away from it, but it's real trippy. Like this one has scared the crap out of me a few times. Just turn around and just see it, sitting there at the end of the hallway. It's not moving. You know, it typically doesn't move. It just teleports around and sits places and rings its chains. It's unnerving. Now, you also have Rathos the Damned, which, you know, here's all the things that it does. Enrage when provoked, fiercely guards the relic. Near silent approach, longest vision, so it sees well. Fearful of fire, that's important, and slowest movement speed. Now, Rathos is a mummy. He's a really standard, like, you know, 8-foot tall mummy. And have a torch out and you're good to go, right? So who else do we have here? Deccan the Lost, when physical, fast moving, super hearing, radioactive signature. Stomps a lot but can't see very well. Distraction, question mark? So you can buy a radio that you can throw on the ground that makes noise. So this is essentially the blind but can hear you, so you probably don't want to sprint. But it doesn't matter, because even if you were sprinting, Deccan will catch you. Deccan is very fast. So you want to be quiet, move quiet, use distractions, and, you know, just watch out for this one. It's kind of like I think this is the one that looks like a ghoul kind of thing. Yeah, so Deccan's pretty hard to deal with, to be honest. Probably one of the harder ones, because if you don't realize it's Deccan, if you haven't been paying attention and somebody opens the tomb and takes the treasure before you've got it all figured out, you could get blindsided by Deccan super easily. You have Ulfrus the Forgotten, Shapeshifter. Yes. Yes. Longest tracking ability. If you hear whistling, you are in danger. Mimics its victim. Hide before it sees you, and having an amulet prevents attacks. It's something you have to buy, similar to like a crucifix or something like that. So yes, it will mimic people in your party, and it will try to walk up to you, and it will just stand there and watch you. And you may not realize that the person who's been tagging along with you, it doesn't kill you right away, it just tags around with you. You may not realize it, and then once you hear the whistling, oh, you're in danger then. If you run from it, it will start to chase you, but you can't outrun it. So if you think you have a shapeshifter next to you, just kind of run away. But it is super cool. Have encountered this one in a group before, and probably my favorite one right here. And now we're back to Necryft of Shadow. So that's all that's in the game right now, but obviously, you know, early access, so that means more stuff, you know, will be coming. But the game flow, the gist of the game is that you go down and you look for scrolls and gold coins and things to take pictures of with your camera, and investigate the type of, you know, hauntings that the spirit version is putting off. Now, here's where you can see exactly what's in the tomb. And in this particular tomb, it looks like we've got 3 piles of gold, 1 lore page, and 1 rare artifact, plus some things you can take some photos of. Now, I got lucky, and the rare artifact and the lore page were right there, so I vacuumed those up. But once you are satisfied with how much of this you've collected, and you don't have to collect it all, you can then decide to go open the main tomb and get the treasure, and then anger the Magi, who will then spawn in the physical form, and we just went through all the physical forms. But there's a caveat. When you do that, the main entrance slides shut, and the only way to open it is from the inside, and you have to find 2 different levers and activate them both, and you can do them one at a time. Once you get those both activated, it'll reopen the tomb, and then you can escape. And then once you do that, you can come over here to your old Jeep, press Q to drop your treasure, and it'll boop it right into the... Well, that was awkward. It'll throw it into the back of the Jeep, and you are good to go. Good thing I got a flashlight, right? So that's the basic gist of it. You know, treasure hunting, casual startup, and for the most part, the player controls the pacing, which is kind of a unique run. Now, of course, that removes some of the tension. So this game isn't quite as scary as Phasmophobia because you are a little bit more in control of the tension. Uh, but it is super intense at times, like super intense. And in those really intense moments, the game can be really fun. So, absolutely, like, solid game. This one's going to be great. Really good job on fleshing things out. But again, there are some things, like if you hit spacebar, this is your global talk. This is at like twice the volume of holding down V and talking locally. So you have to come in here and slide people down to half. And then when you're just talking with V, you can barely hear them. So, some things like that need to be ironed out. But still, again, when compared to some of the other things that have been coming out, this is way more polished and ready to go. And I can only imagine that, devs tend to continue to behave in the way that they behave. And this is a dev team that seems to like polish and trying to round things out, so I can only imagine that they will continue to kind of like, do a lot of polish, flesh things out, focus on really interesting progression, and all that stuff. And of course, the maps are procedurally generated, which I really like, just like Monstrum 2 does procedurally generated maps, so I really like that. But yeah, you close the tailgate here when you're ready to go, and boom, that's it. Round over, you go back and see how much money and XP. Now, I didn't get any actual gold piles, so I don't think I made any money, but I made some XP, which will level up my character. And let's see. Team split, lore page, rare artifact. Yeah, I'm not seeing any gold here. So no gold, because I didn't collect any gold, just artifacts. Now, what does leveling up do? I'll be honest, I have no idea. I haven't got that part of the game figured out yet. So and dig site, Temple of the Pharaoh, which means I assume that, like, we'll see, themes will expand. And they've even got doors here so that they can expand this room. Hey, here we go. Here we go. There's my chalice. Nice. So yeah, this is set up for expansion. Like, they've already planned, to add or to leave an option to expand the lobby if they need to. But I'll be honest, this lobby is pretty fleshed out. See that shovel, boy? Boy? But anyway, yeah, great game. Highly recommend. It comes out on the 10th. That's when you can buy it. Great game in this sort of like investigative, haunted, spooky co-op genre. One last thing, you saw that there was PvP. If you're confused about what that is, if you die to the monster, you can choose to come back and help the monster. If PvP is turned on, you can directly attack other players. If it's turned off, I believe you can still come back and help the monster, but it's through more arbitrary means like blowing out torches and spooking the players and things like that. Anyway, that's the game. I'll get some gameplay up as soon as I can on it. I've also got some Phasmophobia stuff that I want to do. I had some videos, but I forgot to hit the record button, so I didn't record anything. I wasted an entire night. Otherwise, I'd already have some more VR videos up for you all. Feels bad. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.